One Zambia, One Nation. Thanks for joining us on Zanis News. To present, my name is Juliet Mtale. Top stories in the news tonight. U.S. government committed to actualizing Lobito Corridor rail line. Over 400 families benefit from land resettlement scheme in Shiwangandu. Government disburses 2.7 million kwacha loans to CDF applicants. Plus, local firm to invest $5 million United States dollars in Lufonyama mine. The news in detail. The United States government says it is committed to ensuring that the Lobito Corridor rail line, which will connect Angola, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Zambia, is actualized. U.S. Deputy Special Presidential Coordinator for Global Infrastructure and Energy, Helping Matzas, says the U.S. government is fully committed to ensuring that the $250 million United States dollars project is realized. She said the team is in the country to explore and study the country's road and railway situation. Zanis reports that Ms. Massa said this today when she paid a courtesy call on Minister of Transport and Logistics Frank Tayali and Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development Charles Milupi at their offices. And U.S. Ambassador to Zambia Michael Gonzalez says the U.S. government wants to be part of Zambia's development agenda. And in response, Mr. Tayali says once actualized, the rail line will help stimulate development in Zambia and the two neighboring countries. Meanwhile, Mr. Milupi said the U.S. government has, over the years, been a strong strategic partner of development for Zambia in all sectors.
The Lobito corridor is one of the primary economic corridors we're focused on. At that same summit, we were able to announce the first $30 billion that we have deployed as part of the Partnership for Global Infrastructure Investment. That's $30 billion of $200 billion that we plan to deploy in the next 5 years. And many of the issues that you raised are front and center in our thinking. Transforming the Lobito corridor and its extension into Zambia is designed to have many benefits. The trade benefits, the linked benefits are first and foremost top of mind. But making sure that we're thinking about the economic development opportunities all along the way is an integral part of that model.
We're very optimistic that the full development of the Lobito corridor will, among others, unlock the business potential along the corridor through effective participation of small and medium enterprises in transport value chains. It will obviously boost private sector investments, create jobs, and foster economic growth in these three countries. It will also ease the movement of our people as well as goods and services. It will enhance cross-border coordination in the planning and development of physical infrastructure.
The corridor stretches from the port of Lobito in Angola, lying on the Atlantic Ocean, and it passes through Angola from west to east through the provinces of Benguela, Huambo, Bie, and Mokiko. It covers the mining areas of the Katanga province in the DRC, and here in Zambia on the Copperbelt province, and the rapidly growing mining areas in northwestern province. The corridor offers a shorter route and hence faster access for exports and imports from Europe and America. The route would enhance the development of western and northwestern province, which have potential in mining, agricultural, forestry, and tourism.
Paramount Chief Chitimukulu of the Bemba people has commended government for working on the runway at Kasama Airport in Northern Province. The traditional leader says it is impressive that the works on the runway have been implemented within the shortest period of time. Geoffrey Piri reports that the Mwinelu Bemba said this when he led the Bemba Royal Establishment to check on the works at the airport.
Remarkable progress has been made on the construction of the runway at Kasama Airport. The Bemba Royal Establishment, led by Paramount Chief Chitimukulu, has since visited Kasama Airport to appreciate works being done. The Paramount Chief has since commended President Hakainde Hichilema for facilitating the completion of works on the runway.
I just came to inspect and to see the progress and then thank the President, the candidate of the government, what they have done within such a short period, because we started this thing in 2014 and it was only last year in September that I asked the President, in August, asked the President that we need the airport. And of course it's less than a year we're having the airport intact, far beyond our expectations. So it's really very, very gratifying, and the fact that the President acted very swiftly.
Senior Chief Mwamba was also part of the entourage.
Waba echechi bamuli moyo bafikirisha kunokasa kansha pae pashiri bakoleka apa twasubira nokutira tinalimbirine tukalomba ichintu chimwe chako bati tulefu cha kuti bakatwasu.
Northern Province Permanent Secretary Bernard Mpundu, who led government officials in receiving the Bemba Loyo establishment, also disclosed government plans to refurbish the airport building.
Currently, the Ministry of Transport and Logistics, they are on procurement stage to ensure that we do some refurbishing. You know, what is on the ground here, the runway and the terminals must be rhyme to each other, so much that the standard, like the King has said, is of international standard.
Geoffrey Piri, reporting for Zanis in Kasama District.
The Minister of Education, Douglas Siakadima, says government is committed to reforming the education sector so that it responds to the needs of learners. Mr. Siakadima says reforming the education sector calls for government and its partners to invest more equitably to improve learners' access to quality education. He said this in a speech read for him by Education Permanent Secretary Joel Kamoko during the launch of the 2023 Global Action Week for Education in Lusaka. And Zambia National Education Coalition board member Paul Zulu commended government for increasing CDF to improve education infrastructure. Mr. Zulu also thanked government for introducing the free education policy to allow more learners access quality education. Meanwhile, UNESCO representative Alice Silis said UNESCO is committed to partnering with government in providing resources to improve the quality of education.
Call to action urges our country and all partners to invest more in equitable and efficient run education system. Decolonizing education financing means changing the power dynamics between national governments and international donors, lenders, as well as financial institutions. It also entails that our dependence on taxation as a tool for domestic resource mobilization will not sustain education. I'm happy to report that in order to improve access and foster quality education, the new government has increased funding towards free education. The loans scholarship scheme and reintroduced meal allowances as already earlier said in the universities.
We are also taking this opportunity to thank government for accelerating the implementation of decentralization by increasing the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. We also commend the government for giving the mandate to communities to make decisions on development agendas such as the number of schools they want to construct in their communities.
UNESCO remains committed to continue complementing government efforts by working together with cooperating partners and other civil society actors who are working in the education sector to ensure that no one, and least of all, no young Zambian is left behind.
We continue with the news. Government has successfully allocated farmland to 405 beneficiaries in Chipindo resettlement scheme of Shiwangando district in Muchinga province. Muchinga Provincial Lands Resettlement Officer Joshua Banda says the beneficiaries have been allocated 10 hectares of land each. Here's a report.
as government continues to move its agenda of poverty reduction by increasing productivity among citizens through various empowerment programs. It has now actualized the allocation of farmland to target groups in Mchinga province. In Shuangandu district, the Department of Resettlement has now allocated land to about 405 beneficiaries under the Chipindo resettlement scheme, with youths and women being among the beneficiaries. Mchinga Provincial Lands Resettlement Officer Joshua Banda says the beneficiaries have been implored to venture into agricultural production.
At the end of the year, last year, we had settled about 200. We remained with 450, 405. Because we also had another thing which came in, which was informed by the 8th National Development Plan of resettlement purely, resettling purely the youths, the people living with disabilities and the women, which we did, and that was 500, meaning 500 plus the 200. Last year alone, Mchinga for this area settled about 500 plus 200, which is 700.
The beneficiaries, who include youths, women and retirees, are grateful to government for this actualization.
I always thought that acquiring land would be quite expensive, and I thought that I would only be able to acquire land when I've worked for so many years, but now I've been able to acquire land for close to nothing. So I feel hopeful for the future and I feel quite empowered.
Look at this land, this is virgin land, and you can do a lot of things. So for me, I'll do a plantation, citrus plantation, also avocado production.
The allocation of farmland by the Department of Resettlement under the Office of the Vice President is aimed at creating farm blocks that will help increase agricultural production in the region. Henry Lumpa Jr., Zanis in Shuangandu, Mchinga Province.
In Southern Province, government has reaffirmed its commitment to growing the dairy sector through infrastructure development. Provincial Livestock and Fisheries Coordinator Kabwe Putas says government has started the construction of deep tanks, crush pens and milk collection centers to improve service delivery and animal health. Dr. Puta was speaking during the launch of the Southern Province Drink Milk campaign in Joma District. Gift Banji now reports.
The dairy sector has recorded a growth over the years, with the country's current milk production standing at about 500 million liters. Despite this growth, milk consumption levels has remained low among people. Realizing the benefits of milk to the human body, the Minister of Livestock and Fisheries in Southern Province has launched a drink milk campaign.
Consumption of milk per capita in our country is too low. It is approximated to be 36 liters per person per year, according to the Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock data of 2018, while the recommended world rate is about 200 liters per person per year.
The Department of Livestock has also announced measures the government is putting in place to harness the dairy sector.
Construction of livestock service centers, which includes spray races, deep tanks, crush pens, livestock marketing centers in the province to improve the service delivery.
Government has also increased the price of milk to make the sector more lucrative, and dairy farmers in Southern Province are elated.
The increase in price of milk, which was stagnant for about a decade, the abolishment of the import quota on importation of livestock, improve animal husbandry.
Gift Banji, Zanis, in Choma, Southern Province.
Lunta District Agriculture Coordinator Henry Kapesa has called on farmers in the district to adopt the use of mechanized farming to increase crop yield. Mr. Kapesa said this during the Block Agriculture Show in Kapatu area.
Agriculture shows provide an avenue to measure the food security of a district or country. They also help individual farmers and cooperatives to showcase their yields in a particular season, while allowing them to interact with seed companies and other stakeholders to share knowledge on best practices. Lunta District has so far held 5 block shows across the district, and District Agriculture Coordinator Henry Kapesa officiated at the show.
Event imwe twitira mu bonse abapamu okuti twaisa kumana era twala kita share information, twala kita share ama technologies, twala kita share what is latest. kanchina elyo twakumana bashibulimi kula temukatulabana marketing ero kile kitasho kwebati emukwebo yatamonwa taashitwa so shonga twala kulandati ibifintu fya mulungu tenangu mukapatu tulashitisha nangu tulapanga.
Mr. Kapesa also used the platform to encourage farmers on mechanization.
If we have agriculture, tulefwaya bashibulimi bale ya pantanshi. Bale ya pantanshi muli production mubulimi bwabo. Nokuya pantanshi tulekosera shokweba ati bali mefili mwefingi. Ukupitila mukubonfya sorobesho efingi like ya tractor.
Meanwhile, Lubushu Ward Councillor Lazarus Kamboli expressed concern about the low numbers of farmers attending the shows.
Tatubombeshe yo kwena chapite mumbali tatubombeshe bantu ngabatira block show chintu ichikulu sana ito twachwana okusenda olwali kutumona okutira twabomba bwino.
Reporting for Zanis, Sylvia Zulu in Lunte District.
Government has disbursed over 2.7 million kwacha to 40 successful applicants under the Constituency Development Fund (CDF) in Mbabala constituency. The beneficiaries include individuals, clubs and cooperatives engaged in various businesses such as milling, poultry, hardware and bakery. Here are the details.
The Constituency Development Fund (CDF) has continued to improve the livelihoods of people, especially in rural areas. Mbabala constituency is the latest to benefit, with 40 individuals, clubs and cooperatives receiving loans ranging from 5,000 to 200,000 kwacha. Area Member of Parliament Joseph Munsanje is optimistic that this will boost the economy of his constituency and the district at large.
We have given loans worth 2,751,678 kwacha. So we are very happy that you are going to improve your lives, improve the economy and create jobs, which is very important. So I encourage you, when you do your business, have a long-term vision. When you are going to do a poultry, think about a cold room so that you can supply chickens to all of us.
Imalo nya empowerment twagalibwa mabyo mangununo nawula TV nawajula radio wawaguti buli bali kupekwa mangununo amana sunu tukende wano buli kirebe jakuti ibantu agwalo umuzi buno agwalo batambula maloni jatagali kujitiga.
Life Crest Broker Cooperative and Twende Women's Club are among the beneficiaries, which received 180,000 and 200,000 kwacha respectively. We want to open a bakery. We are grateful to have received this loan because we previously had no startup capital.
We will manage to pay the loan back because we are the only ones in our area with a milling plant business. We are grateful because this support will improve our livelihoods.
And the traditional leadership in the area has called for prudent utilization of the loans.
Most of all, to appreciate the gesture government has given by giving loans and projects to individuals and communities. We are warned that this money is a loan. We sincerely appeal to you, beneficiaries, to make sure that you put this money into good use because you are the examples that others will follow.
Runia Sakala, Zanis, in Mbabala, Choma District.
Thank you, Runia, for that report. Our government has handed over school infrastructure to 3 primary schools in Nalikwanda constituency of Mongu District. Area Member of Parliament Kanonso Simunji advised the beneficiaries to take care of the infrastructure. More in this report by Sikopo Mukela.
Constituency Development Fund has been used to rehabilitate a 1x3 classroom block at Lukolo Primary School worth 293,000, 370,000 for the construction of a 1x2 classroom block at Ascendo Primary School, and 456,000 has been used to construct a 1x2 classroom block at Lomo Primary School. Konoso Simunji is Nalikwanda Constituency Member of Parliament.
Mubakenera banana ba kubutokwa kuli ruya emi yao yeo bakeza kuli batuba kibatu banyinyani abako ni kuno kenera nga bwata sali kota mwali moze ngata kwami buso ya kwa mulao ne basabe mulelo mutuna mwane bwali lukola lali kolo kola mwami yawo yezi kwale kulibali kisedi akale ne bakwilukisa ne basayi lukisi miyawo yemi mu masenke ananu ile kwa azile fatile bagesa moya liba kuli ne basayi babaleli kona kuli lunalu swe kufya macherenyi kiba muso kuli unatola ukisami yao yesinye ile nikukalami yao yemicha wo kimu yao mucha.
Mundiali Fano represented the district education board secretary.
Kikupo kwa bashemi kuli banana bale bamusabire kwa mantu kwa abataye batwe tuta abandikira kwa nsali limoze 4 wasonokera maskolo abanyona limoze 5 sonova maskolo limoze 6 sonova maskolo musikema mubuluka kwale kwandu kwale nikira bulo yakulibanana kwanu hangata bayanga kwa kule makuma nikuluka miseme nikuisa kwa lusaka anzi kuma ka baile manga ka baitele mali balamo ka baira nga kwa taskwa kwa litoya ka pekaka kono ku hande kulibanana baba taye batoke na skolo musikala babuluka kwa mahai kwale kakuli skolo fast kenwa mahala kintu yetu nayo ndo bakufitsa kwa tene kuitumela kwa muso.
Mongu District Commissioner Morgan Akabeswa encouraged Nalikwanda residents to form cooperatives.
Ampange ma clubs yao mutaye kuba council fee ki 200 kwa chafela mwinzi 10 mwinzi 11 akunataba but you are supposed to be 10 minimum mungento certificate apply abasika minga fa mutunda mene ni next year mweze chani mweze apply mautwa musike mwazwafa kuli mwichemere njumba takuyolima milo amwezo na chwao nji mwata kuweza litapi.
Skopo Mukela reporting for Zanis in Mongu, Western Province.
We now take a break, but still to come, a Serenge-based company pledges to support Mapepala Primary School.
The government of Zambia and the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, will this June host the 22nd Summit of COMESA Heads of State and Government at the Mulungushi International Conference Center, Lusaka. The summit will take place on Thursday, the 8th of June 2023. The COMESA Summit will be preceded by the 18th meeting of Ministers of Foreign Affairs on Tuesday, 6th June, and the COMESA Business Forum on Wednesday, 7th of June 2023. The theme of the summit is Economic Integration for a Thriving COMESA, anchored on green investment, value addition, and tourism. Delegates from the 21 COMESA member states and beyond are expected to attend the COMESA Summit in Lusaka. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Information and Media and COMESA.
Welcome back. A Serenge-based company, Gulf Adventures, has pledged to support Mapepala Primary School, which has had its roof blown off in 2018. Company General Manager Carl Jordan says without access to safe and protective learning environments, girls and boys face a number of risks. More in this report.
Located 80 kilometers away from Serenge Boma is Mapepala Primary School. The school was opened in 1952 and has not seen any new construction since then. Some of the challenges that the school is facing is the iron sheets that were blown off in 2018 after a hailstorm and the lack of desks, even as the enrollment pressure continued to rise with the introduction of free education by the New Dawn administration.
The total number of people that we have is 511, and the desks that we need here at least 300 to accommodate the 511 of our pupils. The government adventure, they came and do some measures of our classroom 1x3 classroom block, and we are assured that they help us, because looking at the current structure or situation, our pupils, they are just squatting.
Zanis caught up with the general manager for Gulf Adventures in the protected game reserve, where he announced the support from Mapepala Primary School.
Mapepala School, we're going to do the benches, the roofs, painting, plastering, because the schools are falling apart, and Especially in these rural areas, there's a lot of children that is around here, and developing on a scale like this, it's quite important to look after the local communities.
The school administration is eagerly waiting for the pledge.
We really very much thank you for the Gulf Adventure, for the help that they are bringing to us as Mapepala Primary School. So as at now, we are just waiting for them to give us help. Already they are come on board, so we are just waiting for them to fulfill the promise.
Daniel Billy for Zanis News in Serenge District, Central Province.
We now move to Copperbelt Province, where a local investor has expressed interest to invest in copper mining in Lufwanyama District. Kishi Mine Company Director Moses Bandas says the institution intends to inject an initial capital of $5 million United States in the project. Agrippa Silumbwe has more in this report.
Lufwanyama has a vast land endowed with a variety of mineral deposits. To this effect, the district's mining sector has continued to attract both foreign and local investors, with Kish Mine Company being the latest firm to express interest to invest in the district.
We intend to invest in Lufwanyama because Lufwanyama is a potential district that has got mineral deposit. We discovered the deposit of copper, and we took it to the Minister of Mines and tested that it's got deposit of copper. We intend to start with $5 million. A minimum of maybe 150 people will be employed.
And Zambia Environmental Management Authority was in Lufwanyama to get submissions from stakeholders on this new proposed mine to be located in Inchakwa area as part of its environmental impact assessment process.
You could submit your comments by the 15th of June this month so that the agency can make an informed decision. If the project is approved, Your Royal Highness, there will be conditions that the developer will be expected to abide by. Then they will also be expected to abide by the commitments that they have written in that environmental impact assessment report. Failure to do so, that the board can also decide that the project be rejected.
Traditional leaders were on hand to make their own submissions. The meeting was attended by different stakeholders. Reporting, I'm Agrippa Silumbwe, Copperbelt Province.
In other news, this time around in Central Province Minister Credo Nanjua has called on small-scale farmers to embrace resilient farming methods due to climate change. Mr. Nanjua said this in a speech read on his behalf by Kabwe District Commissioner Lennox Shimambwa during the training of 100 farmers in Kabwe. Details in this report.
Increased incomes and profits among small-scale farmers helps them invest back into their local economies, where they create jobs and equitable growth. It is for this reason that government supports training in agribusiness to help small-scale farmers become more productive.
This initiative by Renegia Consultancy and Training resonates with the UPND agenda in its quest of revamping the agriculture sector in Zambia. I'm so happy that this is being driven from Central Province, where I'm privileged to be the provincial minister. I agree with you, Dr. Oliver Kandela Bulaya, the managing consultant of Renegia Consultancy, that smallholder farmers have not progressed in the past years, and this is a major contributor to the production of agricultural commodities in Central Province and Zambia as a whole. Therefore, there's need to use different strategies by all players in the agriculture sector, just as we are witnessing today, to help our small-scale farmers embrace resilient farming methods in view of climate change and principles of farming as a business.
Runeja Consultancy Managing Consultant Dr. Oliver Bulaya says there is need for smallholder farmers to transition to the next level.
Marks a huge transition from our media advocacy on climate-smart agriculture and farming as business to a national comprehensive training program premised on small groups dynamics. And we've trained in one grouping many farmers. But our observation is that at the end of the day, we are not seeing a transitioning of these smallholder farmers from smallholder farmers even to large-scale farmers. Therefore, as a Renegia consultancy, we realize the essence of small groups dynamics, and we embarked on a national program where we've identified 100 farmers from each district willing to be trained. And this is where we are today, with 100 farmers in Kawe.
And the Kawe Farmers Association has welcomed the training for the farmers in the district.
This rare gesture by Renegia Consultancy will bring the following benefits to general membership in Kawe. Farming as a business, agribusiness financial management, business opportunities in agriculture, e.g. fish farming, seedling business, management and horticulture.
This involvement by the private sector to increase productivity in agriculture is important. Kelvin Tembo for Zanis in Kabwe, Central Province.
As we end the news, civil servants in Chinsali district have embarked on morning health walks as part of the Keep Zambia Clean, Green and Healthy campaign. Henry Lumpa reports that the Chinsali Municipal Council Assistant Public Relations Manager Lolavie Simukoko says the exercise responds to the health component of the campaign.
These are civil servants from various departments and institutions in Chinsali district undertaking a health walk as part of the Keep Zambia Clean, Green and Healthy campaign. The employees that marched from Chinsali Post Office to the Zambia Army grounds are grateful to undertake this exercise for many health reasons.
Many a time when we think of Keep Zambia Clean, we think of the cleaning part. For a long time we've been doing the cleaning part in the markets, but we don't want to promote the healthy part. And different institutions are here taking part in the walk.
It improves my health. Too much sitting and driving makes me not too much healthy. But this health work is like an exercise for me.
And Chinsali Municipal Council Assistant Public Relations Manager Lolavie Simukoko explained on the importance of implementing the health component of the Keep Zambia Clean, Green and Healthy campaign.
This is a very important exercise as it helps improve the overall health of our local citizens. And what I like about this exercise is the overall benefit of it all is it helps make us be productive citizens so that we can ensure that our nation is actually developing at a high level.
The health walk was later coupled with aerobics, which many civil servants actively participated in. Henry Lumpa Jr., Zanis in Chinsali, Muchinga Province.
That is all we had for the news, but before we go, we recap on the headlines. U.S. government committed to actualizing Lobito Corridor Railway Line. Over 400 families benefit from land resettlement scheme in Shiwangandu. Government disperses 2.7 million kwacha loans to CDF applicants. Plus, local fame to invest 5 million kwacha, 5 million United States dollars in the Lufwanyama mine. Thank you so much for staying with us. My name is Juliet Mtele saying bye-bye.